stumbled upon Tales from the Busty Wench. Toby stepped down from the coach, was greeted by the damp embrace of cobblestone puddles. Deceptively deep and cold, they were none too fresh either. Indeed, the distinct flavors of body odor, pig shit, and the coppery hint of blood were thick in the air. Ah yes, civilization at last. Watch that first step, little man. It's a dilly, the coachman dryly observed from his wagon perch. You might have pulled forward another 20 rods to spare me this morass, good sir, Toby replied, mustering manners he could. Mother had always stressed the importance of being nice. That, of course, being until it was time not to be nice. City guard will let me go no farther, the coachman reflected. They've got to search each wagon, assess taxes, and look for contraband. We wouldn't want any undesirables making it into town, now would we? Certainly not, sir, Toby hastily replied, unconsciously fingering the lockpicks hidden at his belt. Looking 2 wagons ahead, Toby observed 2 of the city guard making a concerted effort to shake down a wide-eyed shepherd for a bribe at the city gate. And when the poor fellow produced none, the guard began snapping their gloves and speaking of cavity searches. Oh no, this would not do. Stepping quietly to shadow, Toby assessed his options. City guards, as a rule, are notoriously corrupt and run their game on the common folk. However, they dare not impede the will of the rich and the powerful. Fingering his coin purse, Toby found it light. And judging by the crowd here assembled, there would be no juicy mark aching to be relieved of their burden of gold. There was, however, a person of interest. Not 2 spots back, there stood a group of religious pilgrims, waving incense and chanting nonsense about giving Demeter her due. Foremost among the group loomed the mighty presence of a diminutive woman, who seemed to be the leader. Slipping closer, Toby gleaned her name. It was Sister Maud. Oh, and she was a firebrand. And when one of her followers shouted, "Amen, Sister Maud!" the outlines of a plan sprung to Toby's mind. So, stepping forward into the crowd, Toby raised his hands in rapturous repose and projected, "Amen, Sister Maud!" in full theatrical voice. The flock, surprised by this unexpected boon, turned to face him. "Who brings the crops which feed us?" he asked. The crowd, apparently not the sharpest of tacks, muttered moronic potential such as Farmer Brown or the Fat Red Wagon. Toby was forced to self-punctuate. "Demeter," he concluded with a smack of his fist. "But who gets all the credit?" he whispered with a conspiratorial lean. "Jupiter," he boomed, "for bringing the rain. Bacchus," he cried, "for bringing the wine. Neptune," he wept, "for the meager returns of the sea. Yet, who brings you the staple of wheat, or the joy of a lima bean?" He paused for effect. "Demeter, I say!" he burst, fist pumping to air. and this was indeed greeted by appreciative murmurs from the crowd. As she does so in silence, asking for nothing, he hushily reflected. Casting his eyes to the ground, Toby whispered, giving of herself, humbly and with sincerity. Nods of solemn agreement were noted in the crowd. Building then to impending crescendo, he continued, caring not about all the praise we heap on the other gods, she does what must be done. Amen, brother! And various other slack-jawed shouts of agreement rose from the crowd. And you, Sister Maud, you are doing the gods' work, spreading the virtues of Demeter. Bless you, sister. Bless you, he added with a tear in his eye. At this point, the crowd was momentarily pushed aside by that wide-eyed shepherd and his flock of sheep, who apparently had been unsuccessful in their attempt to enter the city. The poor shepherd clutching his loosened pantaloons, the city guard roaring with laughter. Well said, son, Sister Maud gushed. It lifts my heart to see young people like you, so full of the bounty of Demeter. Toby realized that Sister Maud had mistaken him for human. This was not an uncommon mistake, as halflings do quite resemble younger humans when they choose not to wear facial hair. This error not hurting his case, Toby chose not to correct her. Yes, sister. Mother is a strong woman like you. She taught me what's right. Have you come with your mother to bathe your feet in Demeter's fountain, son? Sister Maud inquired. Mother asked me to find some flowers to lay there, but naught but dandelions could I find in the wild, and these flower merchants outside the wall are near criminal in their pricing. Aye, the merchants inside the wall are no better, son. Your mother was wise to send you out into nature for an offering. This would please Demeter. Sensing a fish nibbling at his bait, Toby looked to set the hook. And now, I am stuck outside the wall, with only a few measly coppers to my name, and no way to get back to my mother, who waits for me inside. Sister Maud was visibly shaken. Well, took your head under our wing, little bird, for this flock brings baby cook to Mother Bird. And so was Toby draped in holy vestments, handed a censer of burning incense to carry, and welcomed unto the bosom of Demeter. And when the procession passed the gate, Toby quickly flaked off into the nearest alleyway. 1 minute there, the next not. He needed a beer, and a sign had caught his eye. The Busty Wench. Now, this seemed promising.
It's what I see, it's the nightmare that I'm seeing. So dark it burns, but it's more than just a feeling. The city streets with violence and confusion.